Hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome you all to yet another live session of Wiki Karnataka Human Resource Council. Wiki is a national business chamber which focuses on empowering women by its presence in 120 countries with a strength of 250,000 members. Wiki Karnataka Human Resource Council is an ambitious initiative by our President Shikha Gupta and a team of accomplished women who have come forward to strive, empower, and make a difference. We are all from different organizations and different walks of life and contribute to uplift each other. Over to Shika for the calendar.
Thank you so much, Rani. Good evening, viewers, listeners, ladies and gentlemen. This council is very strongly supported by Rani Srinivas, who is right now with us on this show. She is the vice president, and hand in hand, she has been partnering with me, in this journey because she believes in the ethos of the council. Thank you, Rani, for being such a strong support. Now, coming to today's topic, as interesting as it can get, transforming lives. There is so much of chaos, COVID, and a lot of stuff happening around us. So we thought, we should get some reverend speakers, industry leaders to talk about how do we transform lives, right? And we're extremely privileged to have mindset coaches, well-being coaches, happiness coaches from diversified streams to be a part of this show. I would like to take the pleasure of inviting my first guest. Her name is Mehak Vadhwa. Mehak Vadhwa is a holistic well-being coach. She has facilitated the Joy of Being a Woman workshops. She has also facilitated sessions for corporate executives in companies setups as well as done one-on-one sessions. The aspects that she covers during those sessions are pranayam, breath work, mindfulness, meditation practices, yoga asanas, hasta mudras, and a lot more, ladies and gentlemen. Attempts also incorporating NLP and new code NLP in all her sessions consciously. She wishes to spread the joy of being a human. Listeners and viewers, please join us in welcoming Mehak Vadhwa. Thank you, Mehak, for being on the show with us today.
Thanks a lot, Shika, for inviting me. It's a pleasure being a part of your show.
Thank you.
Now, moving on to our next guest, Arundhati Hazari. Arundhati, he is an ICF certified professional coach from IPEC New York. She specializes in mindset for high achievers. She's worked with entrepreneurs, athletes, and CEOs to enhance their performances and quality of life through mindset coaching. Arundhati is a very enterprising speaker and a coach herself. Welcome you to the show, Arundhati.
Thank you. That was a lovely introduction. Thank you.
Welcome, Arundhati. Moving on to our next speaker of the day. None other than she is known as Beautiful Deepa. Deepa Gangadharan, a happiness and life coach, speaker, mentor, and eternal learner. I love that. Seasoned HR and L&D professional. Prior to taking up coaching journey, she was the director HR and operations with IBL Solutions Private Limited. And earlier to this, she has worked with organizations like Infosys, Cognizant, Altisource, and UST Global. She comes with overall 19 years of experience, variety of experience in BPO, KPO, and IT services industry, with a broad strategic and deep operational knowledge and insight building in scaling up processes and teams and relationships. Deepa also champions vibrant work culture and diversity in workplaces. And most importantly, the happiness question. We're all going to be happy after talking to all of you. She takes up individual and group coaching for happy self, happy work life, happy relationships, and happy career. This is so happy to be reading all of this. She resides in Bangalore with her family and loves music and travel, exploring different cultures and online offline meeting up with new people. Welcome, Deepa. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. That was a lovely and a lengthy introduction. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. I mean, it is amazing to have all of you with us today. And in such difficult times, all of you all are such an integral part of spreading happiness, being human, spreading the joy, and all of it. Warm welcome again.
Thank you.
um, I think we should start with the interaction and make it, more joyful and happiness into the session, like bring in more happiness into the session.
Correct.
Transforming lives. How important is it in today's scenario? From each one of your perspective. Let us start with our happiness coach, Deepa, followed by Miss Mehak and Miss Arundhati. Over to you, Deepa.
All right. Okay. So thank you so much. So since we are on the topic of wellness and things, and I specialize in happiness, I would like to talk about um, happiness and peace in our life. Okay. So I'm delighted to be actually sharing this with you, because I feel this is this is like the need of the hour at the moment, with the current scenario that we all facing in the world. I mean, and the entire world coming together for the betterment of the entire humanity. And we have seen a lot of ups and downs, and more importantly, we've seen that we all as human beings are being very resilient. And and that's something that has brought us together as a as a community, as a whole, as a world. So that is that is something great. But at the same time, we've seen that somewhere the happiness aspect has come down a little. And India in the happiness report stands at 143, which is way below. And I think we should do something about it. And it's something that it's a conscious effort that we all have to do. So having said that, I would like to say that happiness for me is actually living in the now. Okay, it's living in the now, to be fully present to what we are and what we're experiencing. And peace is the complete acceptance of the now, without any conditions whatsoever. So this is something that I would want to communicate to everyone, and everyone to understand, so that they really can live in the present and be and enjoy the moment. Thank you.
Lovely.
Lovely, Deepa. Over to you, Miss Mehak.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Rani, and thank you, Deepa. I so agree with what you just said. Being in the now 100% and acceptance is the secret of peace. So, coming back to the question, Rani, about transforming lives. As per my perspective, what I have understood and read so far, we have been blessed with this human life is that's the highest form of living to transform. And transformation keeps happening day in and day out if we observe nature. And in today's life, maybe there has been too much disharmony, and that's why to bring back the harmony, it has become uh, all the more important to transform lives, is what I think about it. Thank you on that speaking.
Yeah, yeah.
Over to you, Arundhati.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think those were lovely examples of what transforming life means, right? Seeing happiness, peace, and understanding. For me personally, I feel like it really comes down to the person and their awareness of self, right? What really does mean transforming? What does transformation really mean to them? Usually, it comes when you are feeling very unaligned with who you are, right? So you want a life which is completely different. You want to do something which is out of the ordinary, but for you, that could actually be ordinary because that is who you want to be. So I think it really comes down to each person. All of us need to ask ourselves this question as to, are we living a life which we want to? Is this how we want our life to be? Am I doing the things because this is what I enjoy doing, or this is what I'm being told to do? And if the answer is no, right? If you're not enjoying what you're doing, if you're not happy, right, with what you're doing, then comes to the question as to what would actually make you happy. How do you want your life to be? And I feel that's the transformation for each person. It doesn't have to be for everybody. Maybe some people are already living a life which they love living. So transformation might even sound so bizarre for them because they're like, I love my life. So I would just ask them, how would you want to make your life better? Right. So that's kind of how I look at transformation, through self awareness, by asking yourself, what type of life are you living? Do you like it? Do you want to change it? How do you want to make it? And that's your transformation when you take those steps. So, yeah.
Cool. I mean, I want to ask something on what all three of you said. So life itself has various components, right? Health, self, family, job, hobbies, passion, right? There could be instances where the individual is completely unhappy with everything that he or she has, or there could be portions of it, right? Say, I'm not happy with my work. You can't say, I'm not happy with my family, right? You don't choose your parents, maybe spouses, or a relationship, or a situation. So, how do you guys, and anybody can answer that, how do you guys go about identifying that? What is it that one thing is ailing with this human being and which needs to be changed? And if it has to be changed, what kind of transformation should the individual go through?
I think it starts with what the individual wants, right? Even starting with asking the question, "What should I be doing? What needs to happen?" is yet coming from a space where it's not what the person wants; it's what they're being told. So it's not true transformation, but it is again that same cycle of living a life which you're being told to live, even though if it's really fancy and a really with all the materialistic stuff, if you're not happy, you're not living true to who you are, right? So I think it starts there, where asking yourself, what do you want? And from what the examples that you used about relationships, sometimes you can't change your relationships, you can't change the people who you are with, but you can change your relationship with them. You can change how you are with them, right? You can get more understanding. You can develop that relationship, make it much more healthy. So things of those sort. If we start thinking in these terms and looking at what do we want and how do we go about it, it's very simple when we start understanding what we want. Then we start working towards that. Most of us don't even ask ourselves what we want. So I think it starts there. Yeah.
Yeah, very well put. I think because all of us are in this rat race, yeah, all of us are traveling towards some destination. Most of us don't even know where we are going, but it's just that it's a life which is full of comparison. Oh, my batchmate, oh, my classmate, oh, my neighbor, oh, my colleague, right? And you're just running, whether you're happy or not. So that brings me to the next question, which I would probably want to ask Deepa, which is very specific to happiness and peace, right? What are the elements of happiness? How do you practice them? How do you maybe keep track of certain things in life, which leads to a better quality life, better quality of life, purpose driven life, right? So, something around that, some thoughts around that for our viewers.
Sure. So, as no, Arundhati mentioned, it is all about what the individual wants. Okay, it is very, very happiness for me. The definition of happiness for me could be different to what it is for you or for Mehak or Rani. And it's very important for us as individuals to understand who we are and what we are and what is it that makes us happy. Because unless we do not understand or delve into that aspect of ourselves, of our individuality, we would always be in the um, in a that in a definition defined by somebody else, and then you try to fit into that, and then you're trying to be happy, but eventually you're not going to be happy because that's not who you are. Because and as per my coaching practice goes as well, it is about be beautiful. So it's about you, it's about how you want it to be happening and what you need to do. So once you understand that, it's very easy to go through anything in life. For example, it's in Bangalore. I'm from Bangalore, so it's raining in Bangalore from the last couple of days. So rain itself cannot make anybody happy or unhappy, right? But it is about what we think or what value we associate rain with in our life that makes rain a happy incident or an unhappy incident. But it's just a natural phenomenon. You just have to accept it. It's just a natural phenomenon. Say, for example, my 10-year-old daughter, she would be delighted and excited if it rains because she gets to go up to the terrace and play and dance in the rain. But when it comes to my mom, she is not happy because she's just put out clothes for drying, and that might get wet. So she's not going to be happy with the rain. But rain is just rain. It's just doing its work. So if you don't understand that, and it's about what meaning you associate that with that. And for me, rain is beautiful because I take my bike out and I just go on a ride. Other people might think I'm crazy, but that's what I like. So rain itself, it's just a simple thing. It's about how you associate it with each thing, and it also depends on the current situation that you're in. It's all about that. If you understand what it is and what makes you happy and how that transforms into your life, so that is what truly makes you happy, and it's a continuous process.
Correct. You reminded me of something. I don't know who said it, but how do you look at life? Is the glass half full or half empty?
True.
Optimism versus pessimism, right? Some people always see the glass half empty, while the others always see an opportunity or a silver lining in no matter what the situation is. So beautifully
True.
said. Thanks for that. Yeah. Anybody would like to add anything to this?
I mean, we can
Mehak, would you
always
like
be
to
in
add something to this?
gratitude.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rani. So we can always be in gratitude. We have the glass and we can fill it with whatever we like. The other half, we can add limbu sharbat to it for that matter. It's each one's choice.
Well said. Yeah, correct.
That's
Like people say, right? Water is colorless. Whatever liquid you add to water, that becomes the color of the water. You add sharbat, you add tang, you add lemonade, you add orange to it. That's the color of the water. Water itself is colorless. Like rain. Rain is just doing its work. How you look at it is up to you, depending on your current situation.
True.
Lovely. I'm loving this conversation. Yeah, Rani, over to you. Otherwise, I won't
Yes,
stop speaking.
no, when Deepa said rain and how different people view or their perspective about it, and we also get to hear a lot more times. It all starts with the mind, how you look at things. And interestingly, Arundhati is a mind coach, and I've heard about life coach, some academic coach, and other coaches, but mind coach was something new to me, and a lot of us as well. Uh, Arundhati, we would like to know what exactly it means and what is its significance.
Of course, yeah. So, mindset coaching is nothing but understanding a person's mind. So, we all have our one whole world created in our mind, and it's very different. Mine could be very different from Mehek's could be very different from Rani's. So, as a coach, as a mindset coach, my job is to understand what is the type of world that you've created inside. And why that is important is because we all have a perspective by which we view the world. Um, for example, like let's take the basic example of an optimistic person and a pessimistic, right? An optimistic person is always going to look at the good situations, how this is going to be really nice, what's the good side out of this. That's their world. That's how they look at things. That's how their mind is functions. But a pessimistic person is going to find something bad in a really good situation as well, right? That's how their brain brain is wired. So what a mindset coach does is understand what's the world that you have created, and also then understand why is that world created that way, which of it was actually you creating and which of it was imposed onto you. um, I don't want to go very deep, but a simple explanation is most of the things that we carry, most of the beliefs that we carry in our head is something that our parents told us in a very young age,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Especially in India, and being in a middle class family, right? We have always heard that you shouldn't spend a lot of money. You should always save your money, right? You should not be so selfish. Now, all these things pick up when you become an adult. When, let's say, you're making a lot of money, you feel very guilty to spend money. You feel guilty to spend money on yourself, and that actually resists you from growing in life. Let's say you're a businesswoman now, right? Like most of us here, and you have to invest in your business, but you're scared because your business means it's you, and you're putting this huge amount of money of investment into you. And your whole life, you have been told you have to be selfish, you cannot spend this much money on yourself, and you stop. So it's that small thing that your mother told you when you were growing up, that you should save up money, that now when you are 30, 40, 50 years old, and you're looking to invest in your business and you're stopping yourself. And believe me, this happens in every level, right? I have worked with, like I mentioned, I've worked with athletes, I've worked with CEOs, small business owners. All of them have these small things that happened in childhood, that happened, a relative told them. Because of that, they're not taking big actions in their life right now. They're holding themselves back. So, in short, as a mindset coach, that all comes back to your mindset and how you're viewing life. So, these are the limiting ways that are stopping you from achieving your goals. So, my role there is to figure out where did this thought come from, break its existence, fill it up with a new thought, which is much more empowering and much more suited to the person, right? Like the initial of this conversation, we always want to make sure that we are being unique to the person and not putting my thoughts or my idea of life onto them, but creating a life that they want. So that's kind of what a mindset coach does. And to be honest, all coaches are life coaches. You can't coach anybody else unless you get into their life and get into every area. Mindset coaching is just a way of portraying what you do, but it honestly comes back to life coaching. Yeah.
I think that's quite interesting because when she said mind coach is not separate and it is getting into your life,
Mm-hmm.
that's really that connecting and comprehension is really interesting.
Yep.
And on a lighter note, Arundhati, I'm sure your most difficult customers or clients are women, because it is normally said it's very difficult to understand a
No,
woman's mind.
to be honest, men are more difficult. Women, it's easier. They open up, they speak
They
about their
open up.
emotions. Men are very, yes, no. Yes, this happened. No, this happened. When did it happen? How did it happen? They don't open up. It's actually easier to coach women, right? You'll be shocked. Yeah.
Yeah, quite shocking because we always keep reading, right? It's very difficult to fathom what's happening in a woman's mind or a woman's heart. Interesting. Thank
It's
So,
you.
very open. You just need
can
to
I add
listen.
something
Yeah.
here?
Yeah.
So again, that is the conditioning in which the society has, built that, it is the women who is the, the difficult person. And, it's again the
Hmm.
labeling and the conditioning that is there. But I would completely 100% agree with Arundhati because women know what they're feeling and they are okay to express it, whereas men do not want to express it. They feel it is an inferior complex. I mean, it is something inferior, to their personality if they come up and open up to us or anybody for that matter, and they stifle their feelings to an extent where it becomes unbearable to them. Again, it is a societal pressure that is making them not come out of it. And the ones who are brave enough to actually showcase their emotions, well, they're called names. and nobody wants to be called names, right? And that's the reason why men are still in this, in that, in that, whatever, in that mindset frame, that if they open up, or if they expose, if they show their vulnerability, it is something to do with not being masculine.
Hmm.
Actually, this ties back to just what Arundhati pointed out, right? It's the way you are brought up, right? The way boys or men are brought up in an Indian society. You're the man of the house, you're the boy. You have to do this, you have to look after your sister, you have to look after your parents, siblings, you have to be the earning hand, you have to become an engineer, you have to earn a lot of money. So they're brought up, or they're, like you guys said, they're conditioned that way, that you're the strong one. Then you have to
Yeah,
take care of your little siblings and all that, yeah. Oh,
it's very
nice.
true. It's
Yeah.
it's very evident in the field as well, in coaches. You will observe that there are a lot of leadership coaches and business coaches which are men, and
Exactly.
usually life coaches,
Are
happiness
women.
coaches are women, and their main audience are also women. Men would usually not go to a life coach. I'm just saying, from, it's a very generic, I'm not saying all men, it's very generalized, but it's much more masculine to go to a leadership coach or a business coach than to go to a life coach, even though at the end it's the same result. A life, that's what I was meant when I said about mindset coaching, life coaching. Everyone's doing the same thing. I'm just breaking the secret here. Everyone's doing the same thing. It's just they're positioning themselves differently. And it's about seeing who you want to work with. And you've got to start speaking your audience language once you have a business, right? What your audience understand. That's why you position yourself as a mindset coach or a happiness coach, life coach, leadership coach. It comes down to those simple things. Yeah.
Correct.
So
So the
basically, all of
content is
these
the
are the
same.
tools. All of these are the tools in which each one of us would want to do it, because that's how probably our audience associate it with. But essentially, a leadership coach, or a mindset coach, or a happiness coach, or a well-being coach, we all are doing the same thing, and the resultant also is something same. We all want everyone to have a contented and happy and peaceful life.
Hmm.
So it's like
One
they're different bottles. The content is the same, but the labels are different, right? Yeah. Continuing on that conversation, I want to ask Mehek. She's a mindfulness coach. What is mindfulness? We've started hearing this terminology a lot in the last 1.5 years with COVID. What are the elements of mindfulness, and some tips that maybe for our viewers on a daily basis that they could practice and follow, which gives them a happy and contented life, something around that.
So, mindfulness is being 100% here and now. I mean, the best book I would recommend is Eckhart Tolle's Power of Now, and some basic exercises or yogic practices that I facilitate is for 5 minutes, just close your eyes, maybe in the morning before one starts one's day. Start listening to as many sounds as you can. Just focus on listening. So, as soft as fan ka hours, AC ka hours, or even the analog clock, the needles of the clock, you know, maybe the soft chirping of the bird. So, all these sounds, they keep happening throughout the day. And how aware are we? We miss even listening to silence. When we start listening to silence, we get in touch with our deeper inner self. Like Arundhati mentioned, if we are not happy from within, or if we don't know what we want from within, there are so many things imposed on us. So being mindful, getting in touch with ourselves. One was listening, the other was mentally, with your eyesight, just focus maybe on a candle flame or an image or a idol, whatever. Maybe a mantra, or just uh, this reminds me, one of my yoga colleagues and I, we were traveling in the metro, and this colleague said, I cannot practice yoga as much as I would like to because I have taken up a job now. And I suggested, while traveling in the metro itself, in those 15 minutes, 5 minutes, if he just focuses on any particular part on the metro, be it just the handle, that is mindfulness. So you become aware the color, the texture, the size, and so many things about it. So even while we are conversing here in this setup, just being 100% here, that is mindfulness according to me. And I guess I have already shared two tips. One is just listening to
Yeah.
things, and the other
Sounds.
is focusing. Yeah, focusing. So on and off, as you keep practicing, this helps you become more and more mindful, and then recall whatever details you needed, and preferably at the end of the day, at night before retiring, if we can just rewind and replay our entire day and let go and resolve and close that day, and sleep off. That is what helps to start the next day afresh on a clean slate. I'm done speaking.
I'll start something tomorrow, something similar. Let's see. This sounds interesting actually. And I
So
can relate with the silence thing when I'm feeling really down, no. Okay, anyway, public show doesn't matter. Now that I've started saying it, I'll finish it. I just close the door of my room and I sit. No phone, कुछ नहीं होता है मेरे हाथ में. No phone, TV, mobile, nothing. Just sit and spend some 5 minutes with me thinking that what is bothering me? Why am I so irritated? What is wrong with me? How can I fix it? Because you can't continue with that mindset, right? You can't continue the rest of the day. So then you actually hear silence speaking to you. It feels good, those 5-10 minutes. I think I can a little bit relate to what you're saying. But yeah, I do it only when I'm irritated with myself. Maybe I should do it before I get irritated.
No, I think
Only,
that's a beautiful practice. A lot of people don't do that. A lot of people are scared to sit with them silently. So, just that ability that you're doing that every morning and you're building that relationship with yourself, it does wonders. I think it's wonderful. Yep. And something that everyone can do who's watching this as well. Yep.
yeah, and it's just 5 minutes. You can do it any time of
yes.
the day. I mean, even while
Yeah.
traveling, just pick 5 minutes, just do it and see what wonders it creates for you.
So I'm quite nocturnal, and I think so is Deepa. We message each other at 1 o'clock in the morning. So in that silence of the night, when you just have the sky and the stars and the moon, and it's just you, the whole house is asleep. Then you're pondering, okay, how did your last 24 hours go? Why were you so irritated? What was it? How can you fix it and move on tomorrow? I don't want to continue with the same day, right? So it feels good, and it's complete silence. कोई आवाज नहीं होती है. And then Deepa, and I didn't realize I was messaging her at 1 o'clock in the night. Last
It
night.
was 2 a.m. actually, not even 1 a.m.
See, here we are, being mindful.
Yeah, so Shika, so I, see, I'm a nocturnal person also, and I'm an early morning person also. So I can be what I am when I want and how it is. So this is one thing that I do practice, okay? Irrespective of when I wake up, and when I'm having my, coffee, I have my coffee in my silence, in my zone, and that is the time when I'm actually in connect with myself, and that is the time when I actually set intentions for my day and how I need to go about, kind of reflect on what happened yesterday and what is it that I could have done better, or or sometimes my mind is just blank, it's just blank, but I'm there with me, with my sip of coffee, and that's about it. And that's like about 15-20 minutes of me time, where it is just me and my, may or many tanhai, or whatever that you want to call it as. I just
Okay,
have
but
that
we
time.
can get it.
Yeah, it's it is very essential for you as an individual to connect to yourself, so that you can actually better be prepared for what the day is in store for you, and what is it that you want to get achieve in the day. So it kind of helps me set my intentions for the day.
Lovely.
That's nice. I also agree with one of our audience who mentioned that, Kalavati Singh says, whatever is workable to you, go with it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Right?
good.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
that's really right. Yeah. Moving
That
to
that
Arundhati.
brings. Okay, sure.
Go ahead, Shika. You
No,
want to
I
say
was
something?
so Deepa was speaking, right? So I wanted to ask her, did this connect with yourself, transform you after 19 years of corporate journey? That's a hell lot of it. And you don't look that you've been working for 19 years. Hats off to you in the first place.
Thank
19
you.
years of corporate journey. When you moved on, and you transformed into a coach. Was this connect with yourself the inspiration? What was the motivation? How did this happen? Curious to know. Because you've worked with some of the best brands. So
Yeah.
what made you pick up this new journey?
Yeah, so thank you so much. So I've been very grateful to be working with all the top brands and lovely people in my journey, and life was good. I was married, I had a baby, I was in a good position, good title, but I was not happy. I wasn't
Wow.
happy. Like, I wasn't feeling the connect. Um, yeah, I was doing good. I was doing good because that is something that you're conditioned to do, and then you're used to doing certain things in the corporate and everything. But when I get back home, when I used to get back home, there used to be a void, and I never could understand. And then, but it was a long process. Though it was not an overnight light bulb moment that happened to me. It took me almost like um, 4 years, or yeah, 2 years, for me to realize that okay, this is not what's working out for me, and I need to do something. And the trigger point actually happened, with my dad's death. I lost my dad in 2017, and after that, life changed for me completely, and I was not the same me. I wasn't the same person, and I was not able to deal with his loss. And that started affecting in my work, in my relationship, and everything. And because why, we're conditioned to say, what, it happens, age old, all those things, and then you don't express your feeling, and you don't kind of do, and then it kind of went in that way. And then it just happened in such a way that I realized at one point somewhere, I think until late 2019, I never realized that it is my dad's death that is actually having this impact on me. And that is when I really started to get back into myself and everything. And at that moment, I decided corporate is something that I might not be able to continue. And I expressed that with my my bosses and my colleagues, and they were really understanding, and they were really good at helping me cope with that thing, and going back into that thing. So I finished my activities, handover and everything, and then I just took a break. And honestly, trust me, I didn't have any visibility of what I'm going to be doing, whether I didn't have any job in hand, I didn't have anything in hand. But yeah, the listeners, please don't do this. Please have a plan in mind and then go ahead and do something. But in my case, I'm just sharing this with you because I was in a state of mind where I just wanted to explore me. I just wanted to understand who I am. Because okay, I was in a position, yeah, the society was happy about it. I wasn't. So that gave that. So once I took that break, I really started to look into myself in terms of what I want, what is that makes me happy, what is my likes, what drives me, what is the potential or capabilities that I have that I want to explore further, and things like that. So that is something that really did. And it's been now a year since I took a break, and since I've been, I'm in the HR and L&D field, and working with people and coaching and training people and everything has been like the norm for me, and I really enjoy that. Working with people, helping them, coming out and bringing out the best versions of them. Kind of gave me that happiness and thing, and I felt okay. Let me just further delve into this aspect of me and then see what comes. And one led to another, and then I started understanding about what coaching is. And in that process, actually, Shikha, I was coaching myself unknowingly. Okay, so when I
Okay.
did that, And I went through that journey and I realized that, a lot of women, and not just women, even a lot of people who are in this kind of a thing, who are just stuck in the daily grind and not being to, do what they want to do. And that is when I realized that I'm going to step into this particular field and try and reach out to people and bring out the best in them so that they can live the real, their life, and then, really, embrace the beautifulness of themselves and live the life to the fullest. So this is what actually, made me come out of corporate. And corporate was good. That was like a I would say that was like a foundation setting for me, to understand and things like that. But now that I'm in this journey, I'm somehow feeling that, it's something that, it's like a mission. It's a mission for humanity, I would want to say that. So that is how I look at it, and that is how I want to, continue. And with the corporate, even though I was doing the training and coaching and all of those things, the number of people were limited. And now that I've come out of it, and then I'm, think the impact that I can have on a larger number of people is something that is really exciting me, and that is really, making me go on into this journey.
That's a
I think
beautiful
that's
journey.
beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
You really use
Inspiring,
the same word.
inspiring. Beautiful
Thank
journey.
you.
Yeah, I think it's so beautiful and so much self-awareness right from the beginning, right? Like you mentioned later that you realized that you were coaching yourself, but it was very clear from your story that you've been doing that from the very beginning. Just that, yeah, just that taking
Maybe it
that
didn't
decision
strike
to
me
pause.
though.
Yeah,
It didn't strike me.
I mean, it says that you're naturally a good coach or you're naturally coach, right? Just that awareness of taking that break right in the beginning where you had, not even had, wanted to take that break, right? And actually going after it. I feel like it takes a lot of guts for somebody who has been in a, in a such a sufficient field, right? Where the bills are being paid, money's consistent, money's coming in, and to make that decision to be like, no, this is not where my heart is, and I want to shift. It's big, it's huge. We talk about it like it's very simple, but it's not. It takes a
Oh, it's
lot
not.
from a person. Yes. And
It's
I
not.
and I'm so glad that you made that shift for yourself and actually went through it because it says a lot about you as a person, right? And I love your story. It's a wonderful story. Thank you for
Thank you
sharing.
so much. Thank you.
You actually are living the life of your dreams or something that you're passionate about, something that you want to do. How many of us only keep dreaming about it?
You still can.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I uh, should tell the way how Arundhati identified that Deepa was self-coaching herself because she's coached, achievers, athletes, and CEOs. So she is, like able to pick it up like that and let us know. Arundhati, a little more, intense the conversation is leading to, and we would like to know the techniques, how you identify and use techniques. What techniques do you use to train or transform or groom a average performer?
Hmm.
To a rock
Okay.
star.
To
Yeah,
a
to a
rock star. Let's be honest, it needs to come in from the client. The client needs to want to be a rock star. You can't put that into anybody. Once they see themselves like, yes, I want to be there, that's when you can actually coach anybody. If a person does not want any help, you cannot help them. And that's kind of been my motto in life. I'm a very passionate person and I always want to help. And I very soon realized that if a person does not want help, you can never help them, how much ever they're going down the drain. So that's number one. And coming to the techniques of moving an average person to a, high achiever, I personally don't look at it that way, but it really comes down to the person and getting to what's holding them back, what are their fears, what are their limitations. Like I spoke about in the beginning of the session, we all have fears, we all have limitations in our head. It's about identifying those and proving them wrong and moving from there. And something that I consistently do with clients is shifting their perspective of life, shifting the way they look at life, right? So if you see yourself as an average performer, you're going to be an average performer. You first need to start seeing yourself like you're able to be a high achiever or a high performer. Then you can make that shift. So the easiest thing without any coach's help is to start telling yourself that, wait a minute, maybe I can get there. Maybe I can be a high achiever. And once you start being familiar with that idea and understanding that you also have the ability, the ways will come into place. You might meet some people who might help you. You might meet a coach. You might meet something in the way, but that needs to come from within. You need to see yourself as you can be this person. So that would be not really my technique, but that would be something that you can take out of it. And the rest of it really goes into getting into what the person is going through and helping them through that. Yeah.
I love the audience is typing beautiful journey, Deepa.
Thank you.
Lovely.
I would
Yeah.
like to add here, though, I want to add to what Arundhati mentioned, that it is very important that you are ready to be coached, because otherwise, you can be spending money, you can be spending time, you can be investing in whatever course that you want to do. But then if you're not ready for that change, if you're not ready to make that change, nobody can, move that mountain for you. And in my case, when I was telling you about, this, that, I was self coaching myself because of the societal conditioning and things like that. I still needed help, but I was not ready to take that help because of the conditioning. How is it possible? I'm in a esteemed position, I'm this, I'm that, and I was not. But eventually I did, and then I took a help of a coach, and I started talking to like-minded people, and a lot of mentors and everybody came by me, and that is a tremendous support, that you can get. And when if you in your lives, the audience for that matter, I'm not saying that you need to go to a coach to get something, but if you can find your tribe, if you can find your support system who can really understand what you are doing or what you're going through, and take you and lift you up in the direction that you want to go and support you in that sense, that is a beautiful thing that you can actually have in your life. It can be in the way of your partner, it can be in the way of your friends, colleagues, relatives, parents, it could be anybody. But to understand your support system, and to understand, to identify your tribe and to be with like-minded people is a tremendous boost. And I can say that, I have a beautiful tribe with me who is supporting, and who is, who are cheerleaders for each other. And that's just a beautiful thing to have in your life. So it's not just, the blood relation. It is also about the, the tribe that you make out there once you're in this journey, or in the journey of life for that matter.
Yeah, yeah, so true. I think the ecosystem is very important, right, in supporting. Yeah, that makes me bring us to the next question. I wanted to understand from Meg, in fact, all of us, yoga has played a major role, right, in your coaching as a holistic well-being coach. So, what is the role of yoga? How has it helped? Any thoughts around that for our viewers?
So, yoga, before I did my yoga teacher training course, I thought yoga
Mhm.
was the asana, pranayam, and meditation. And
Same here. Okay.
once I got to the other side, I realized it's much more. So it's mind as well as body. There is attitude training, like I mentioned, those mindfulness practices. Those are there. By just, controlling our breath, our emotions, we can take charge of our emotions, even our thoughts. We can modify our thoughts by regularly practicing asanas. So sometimes when we cannot work with our body, we use pranayam by just observing or regulating our breath. Our mindset, we have a change in mindset, like Arundhati was saying, there has to be a mindset shift. So sometimes, even if we are not able to work with our mind, we work with our body, or vice versa. If we can't work with our body, like, we have yoga practitioners who, maybe after an injury or something, there are people who cannot bend their knees and sit on the ground or whatever on the mat. And gradually, it with conditioning practices over a period of time, it will vary. For someone, it may be 3 months, 6 months, or whatever time. Things are possible, and that's why yoga is a holistic approach, because it works with, I mean, the body itself, it's a beautiful machine. It has the respiratory system, the digestive system. So anything that goes बिगड़ जाती है, जैसे एक I mean, you can uh, if all the systems work in coherence, in harmony, along with the mind, that's the reason yoga is a holistic approach. Sometimes simple things like a hasta mudra makes so much, adds so much oxygen, or boosts the immune system, and that's the reason I say that.
Absolutely. I don't know. I read it somewhere that, your body is the only place where your soul lives. So use it, but don't abuse it.
So true.
Right? But yeah, yeah. You reminded me of that thought. Thank you. Thank you for saying it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ma-
We've heard a lot about, you yourself. It should start within mindfulness, coaching, all this. I think for the benefit of all of us and the audience who have joined the session today, a simple tip from each one of you how to be mindful in a simple way. Just one tip from each one of you will definitely add a lot of value to them and to us.
Mindful and happy. है ना?
Yeah.
Happiness is important.
Happiness
Yeah.
is
I can go
Any
first. Yeah,
sure.
okay.
okay.
I would say start listening to yourself and questioning everything you do, if that's what you want to do, or that's what you need to do, or that's what you've been told to do. Simple question. Just go through everything you do. Ask yourself, is this what I'm wanting to do? Is this something I need to do, or is this something I've been told to do? And the answer to that will give you so much clarity on who you are as a person and what you like doing. So that would be my tip for everybody today. Sit down, just think about what you did in the day and ask yourself these three questions and see where it falls. You'll start understanding yourself a little bit more from there.
Lovely, Arundhati. Adding to that,
I
just
think that
start.
was a quick and a
Yeah,
simple technique. Yeah.
That
Yep.
was like nocturnal Shikha and Deepa. Sitting and analyzing
No
ourselves.
pressure.
yeah.
Right.
Sure, Vivek.
Yeah, so in addition, just become aware of your breathing. So it's like, as you keep observing your breath, uh, your breathing pattern will be different when you are upset, when you're happy, when you're excited, when you're overjoyed. Keep observing your breath, and you will get start getting answers to all those questions, and you may need to introspect more to the questions what Arundhati mentioned.
I
Over
love
to
that.
you, Deepa.
I have a follow-up question for you, Mehek, if you don't. Right.
Sure, sure. Go
Does
ahead.
our is there a pattern in which the breath goes when we are sad, when we are happy, or is it different for each person?
It will be different for each person. So that's
Okay.
what I mentioned. You just need to become aware. So you just start keeping a track. If I'm overjoyed, it's like the heart rate, I mean, the breathing becomes faster if we are worked up.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason they say, calm down, take a breath. And one more very important tip is exhaling is equally important. Like I've heard many times, take a deep breath, but very rarely is it spoken. Exhale from the base of your lung, because the impure air, carbon dioxide, uska residue जो थोड़ा भी बचता है, that is again like causing the pure oxygen not to give us that vitality and all. I hope I
Mm.
answered your question,
Yeah,
Arundhati.
you did. Thank you.
Okay.
You reminded me of my, I think most of us wear it, right? Fitness trackers, Fitbit. So whenever we have guests like you, amazing people on Wiki Karnataka doing this show, my Fitbit goes up, tuck, 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 tuck. Heartbeat is racing because we're happy. I mean, such wonderful discussion, such wonderful insights. So yeah, great.
I
Thank you
just
so
have
much.
one tip. I just have one tip. So similar to what Arundhati and what Mehak was saying, it's about listening to yourself and then you understanding your breath. I would say go back, and then when you're doing this your silence thing, unlabel yourself. Whatever labels you have put on you, whatever labels you have society has put on you, just unlabel yourself, because I feel each individual is unique. Okay, we are neither good, we're neither bad, we're neither perfect, we're neither bad, awesome or awful. We're just who we are, we're just us. So the minute you understand that, we just unlabel yourself and then delve into yourself and just be beautiful. And that's my tip for the day.
So
Love that.
Sanskrit connotation for that is Sat Chit Anand. We are all
Uh-huh.
work in progress.
Yeah, yeah.
Lovely.
Yay. Lovely. I mean, such amazing thoughts. Listeners, viewers, just be you. You are unique. You are beautiful. You are special. You're good where you are. You will be good where you will be going. Just be you. Yeah. Our audience is also saying, unlabel yourself.
Unlabel yourself.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Yes.
I, yeah, I think adding to this, it was really, a simple and yet very useful tip for all of us from all three speakers. I think it's an amazing session, and the way, how you can inculcate in your daily life.
Very thought provoking stuff, actually.
Correct.
Right? Whoever is watching, I'm sure they will go back today, tomorrow, and think all that you guys have said, how to practice, how to change. Thank you so much for spending this time, giving us your time, your insights. It was wonderful speaking to all of you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so
Thank
much
you
for
for
the
having
opportunity,
me.
actually.
Thank you,
Thank you all.
Shivani.
Thank you once again for this wonderful insights. And signing off, Rani Srinivas.
And
All
Shikha
right.
Gupta from Wiki Karnataka Human Resource Council. Take care and stay safe.